I learned about this game, Operation Maccabee, by chance because I saw that it was a Tanga deal, so it was offered for cheap, and it had an illustration about war, so I thought, a war game for cheap, interesting. Then I looked for information about this game, and I saw that it is not a war game, it is a war-themed game. But still, it has a couple of such interesting and unusual ideas that the game really made me curious. In this game, the players will lead commandos to liberate concentration camps in World War II, but what really makes this game unique is that in order to resolve combat against the German soldiers guarding the camps, you spin a dreidel and you are trying to knock down the figurines representing the enemy soldiers with your dreidel. So this makes it a dexterity game, and I usually hate dexterity games simply because I'm so bad at them. I'm awful. I always look like a fool when I play them. But again, the idea was so unusual that I had to try this game. I fought my repulsion for dexterity games. I bought this game, I tried it, and today I'm going to tell a little bit about the rules of the game and then about my experience with it. The game is mainly played on a mounted map that represents the area where the concentration camps are. Location of the concentration camps is printed on the map, and on each of those concentration camp axes you will place a chit. You shuffle them face out at the beginning so you do not know what's on the other side, and a chit will tell you the number of prisoners that are to be liberated in that camp and the number of action cards that you receive as a bonus for liberating that camp. And if you liberate the camp, you collect the chit, and at the end of the game, the player that liberated most prisoners is the winner. Each player will represent a command of one of four nationalities: American, British, French, and Russian. Each player also has 8 tokens representing individual soldiers in his commando. And each player also starts the game with a preset card. For example, for the Russians it's always the secret map, for the Americans it's always the grenade. And as you can imagine, action cards can give you special benefits and bonuses, extra movement, extra attacks, extra healing, things like that. The first thing that you do in your turn is to spin the dreidel. Well, probably you need to spin a little bit more for that to count. And the result that you spun will give you the number of movement points that you receive for that turn. In order to facilitate gameplay, I made a little handout with all the possible results that come from the dreidel. So if you spin that symbol, you receive 4 movement points, 3 movement points, 1 movement point, and an action card. And if you spin that one, 0 movement points. Not only that, but if your chit that represents the position of your commando started in an X that is red, a red hex, those X's represent German patrols. Then if you spin that symbol, you also get one of your men wounded in a Nazi ambush, and when one of your men is ambushed, one of your men is wounded, then you flip that chit to the token to the wounded side. If you receive movement points, then you can spend them to move on the map. Entering a forest hex costs 2 movement points, clear terrain costs 1, mountain costs 3, crossing a river costs 1, but you need to have a raft action card in order to be able to do so. And sometimes you will also want to visit liberation camps, resistance bases, which costs 1 movement point, and it allows you to spin the dreidel and to cross-reference the result on this other column of my player aid to see if you're able to heal 2 or 1 of your men. Once a man is healed, you flip the token back to his active side. Or you can receive an action card, or again, you may just waste your turn there. So players keep spinning the dreidel to receive movement points, they move on the map, they play action cards, and what they're trying to do is to reach the concentration camps where there still is a concentration camp chit. When that happens, the player can try to liberate the camp, but in order to do so, he has to fight against the German guards. To resolve an attack against a concentration camp, you use the inside of the lid of the box. Within the inside, you have that circle where you place 9 figurines representing the German soldiers that are defending the camp and that you're trying to defeat. For each soldier that you have and that is on his active side, not on the wounded side, you get to spin the dreidel. So I commit that soldier and I spin the dreidel. I had to start from that light area in the middle of the box. I spin it and I'm trying to knock down, oh come on, I'm trying to knock down those enemy figurines. Okay, I eliminated one. After the dreidel stops spinning, you look at the symbol that you span and you see what the effect from that spin is. If that is the symbol that came out, then you get to eliminate 2 extra enemy soldiers. If that is the symbol that came out, you get to eliminate an extra soldier. If you get that symbol, you get an action card, but you can only get 1 per combat. If you spin that symbol again, then nothing happens, it just counts a 0. And if you spin that number, then the soldier that you used to spin the dreidel there is wounded. And I'll do it once again, just because it is fun. That doesn't look like it's gonna change much, but who knows? Well, I did eliminate that, but because of the symbol that came out, then now one of my soldiers is wounded. If you have the right cards, you can also launch extra attacks, special attacks. For example, if you have a grenade card, you play it, then you can launch a grenade, and to do that you just throw the dreidel, but you have to start with your fingertips against the surface outside of the box. You can move your wrist but not your arm. Okay, that was a dud. Let's try again. Boy, that guy just dodged it miraculously. Okay, I'm not a good grenade expert. Another attack that you have, well, if you have the right card, is the sniper attack. To launch a sniper attack, you start with your wrist against the surface outside of the box. Again, you can move your hand, but you cannot move your arm. Yeah. Ah, that was a little better. So you're spinning the dreidel to knock down figurines, you're using the effects of the dreidel to see if you can get extra kills, you are using special cards, and if from a combination of all of these effects you manage to eliminate all of the soldiers that are in the camp, then you liberate the camp and you can acquire the chip that is associated with it. Clearly, this is not a game that you play in order to have a deep strategic immersion. I feel it is not even a game that you play to win. It is a competitive game, but often as you play the game, you forget about it. Maybe it is because everybody is on the same side. Yes, we're trying to do better than the other players, but we're liberating concentration camps. If you do it instead of me, that's okay. That's still such a good thing. And actually, when a player starts attacking a camp and the dreidel starts spinning, everybody is supporting that player. The dreidel spins close to a soldier, everybody's like, come on, come on, come on. And when the last soldier falls, everybody's like, yay! Then you realize, oh, I may lose the game because of that. But who cares? Yay! Fun! Because this is what the game is about. It's about cheering and laughing and throwing and spinning dreidels. It is about pure, I would say, visceral fun. It is completely luck dominated if you don't spin the right symbols, if you don't get the right cards, or if you do not get cards at all. There's nothing you can do to mitigate or correct your situation, but I would say this is almost a plus, because from the beginning you realize this and you're not trying, again, to create any strategy or to think too much. This is not what the game is about. It's about seeing what happens. In fact, there was a game where halfway through the game I realized that there was no way for me to come back, and actually not even to get to try and liberate the concentration camp, so I just dropped off the game. I sat there watching what was happening and I had fun. It was still a fun experience. I can see players even just forgetting about the map and just playing the dexterity game with the dreidel and the soldiers, maybe just taking a turn each trying to liberate a camp and see who does better. I think it can be fun that way. even, you know, much quicker. Overall, it is a game that whatever happens makes you feel good, because I may lose horribly because I was real unlucky, but today I still liberated 150 prisoners from a concentration camp. Darn, I'm gonna feel good about myself. And this is what the game is about. Having fun, cheering, and feeling good. Very, very pleasant game.